It's taking a second. Okay, there we go. Oh, it won't let me stream to X. Whatever. All right, what up, guys? We are live. So we took. Wait, someone has feedback. Let's see. Nope. Okay, we're good now. Anyway, we took off last week because I had a debate. It was fun. But we are back. We're going to be doing these every week. So, yeah, good to be back. I don't know. What the fuck do you guys want to talk about?
Perplexity AI.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Get Chat, dude. Get Claude to write the messages you want to send to a girl, dude. I will say this, real talk. Whenever I post photos, I go into Claude and ChatGPT and Perplexity, and I have them write. I say, hey, give me 30 funny captions for this photo. Now, I don't generally post the caption, but generally the caption I do post, it comes from like, it's inspired by something they come up with. They come up with like something really funny. So like, hey, like it's like me and 12 super hot girls, and it's like, here's me and my knitting club or some shit like that. I use Claude for funny captions. It's really, really effective for that.
Yeah, I've seen people try to use ChatGPT for texting. Yeah, I'd be careful with texting. Captions is probably a good idea. Texting, I feel like sometimes it just sounds like a fucking little bitch. Like
it's not good.
Agreed.
The people it was trained for. Yeah, the people that was trained for were like didn't really have a good text game. That's why I've done videos where I compare live streams where I compare Firetext, my app, to ChatGPT, like the same exact like combos, and it's like a night and day difference.
Look what they wrote in the chat. Look what they wrote in the chat. Hey, Michael, ChatGPT has deep research feature now. It's better than Perplexity now. No, dude, Perplexity has deep research. Perplexity had it first. Go look at Perplexity. They have deep research, but they can do deep research with R1 DeepSeek, and they can do it with ChatGPT, and they have their own default deep research. And I've been using it the last couple of days, and it's incredible.
I don't know, Michael. I think ChatGPT is just better, man.
Got me, bro. Dude, I love, by the way, one massive advantage for ChatGPT, for those of you who create content, ChatGPT has this one add-on called Video Summarizer, and you can make timestamps for your video instantly with Video Summarizer. You can use that with the free ChatGPT version. You copy and paste the link in there and say, hey, can you make timestamps for this? And you say, can you make them so that YouTube, I can copy and paste them in YouTube? It'll make them in perfect format.
It actually does a good job. Like it captures.
Yeah, it does a pretty good job. Yeah, I'll say it does a pretty good job. Okay. Because there's a terms of service problem with scraping the transcripts from our YouTube video. So like there'll be a transcript for this YouTube video we're doing right now. Tomorrow it'll come out sometime tomorrow, and you would hope that the AI models would be able to scrape these transcripts and then be able to come up. But apparently YouTube has a terms of service agreement where you can't do that. But only specifically this one YouTube summarizer thing does it. I tried to do it with Google's Gemini. I tried to do it with Gemini, even though Gemini is owned by Google, who owns YouTube, they still can't do it either. They can't scrape.
Yeah, I use the YouTube summarizer thing all the time, because like you see like a 15-minute YouTube video, I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I put in the summarizer and ask like, what did it say about this, and it'll give it to me in a paragraph. So
yeah, incredible. The summarizer is great. The other thing is about the ChatGPT hallucinations. The reason why I like Perplexity better is because it gives you citations. So if you think you've got a hallucination, it's going to cite exactly where it got the data from, and it makes it much easier for you to be able to go back and check. So that's why I recommend you guys using Perplexity over ChatGPT. I do love ChatGPT though. I use it for a lot of stuff.
How come one guy can get 30 girls and another guy gets one girl? Doesn't the guy with 30 girls take away from the guy with one? Doesn't seem fair. I mean,
this is a good question.
Life is unfair. Life is a competition for resources. Resources being money, resources being, I mean, you could put girls in that category. So it's just all a competition. So yeah, I mean, life is not fair. And so many things about life are not fair.
That's also, I mean, it's a good question. You're not possessing the 30 girls unless you're in some like Arabic state or something like that. And most Arabic places, it's limited to 4. But those girls are also fucking other people, or they're just choosing not to.
Hey, you guys should look up in game theory this concept called the banker's dilemma. And the way it works is banks will loan money to people who need it the least, because those are most likely the people to pay it back. Banks are least likely to loan money to people who need it the most. 50 Cent talks about this in his book, Get Rich or Die Trying. He goes, when I had no money in my bank account, nobody wanted to give me any money. As soon as I had money in my bank account, people were offering me $3 million loans and they wouldn't even let me pay for dinner anymore, right? So it's the people who need it the most who get the least. This is the same way it works with status and vagina. Women give vagina to the men who need it the least. They give no vagina to the men who need it the most. And that's it. So their perception of you needs to be that you need the vagina the least. That's what pre-selection does, is it makes it seem like you need it less, and therefore they're more likely to give it to you.
Yeah, and this will come across in all the behaviors that you have as well. It's called the Matthew principle. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like unless we're advocating for like some socialized fucking dating program where like you take the 29 girls and split them between everyone or some
redistribution of pussy. It's it's like Karl Marx 2.0. It's no, it's not about redistribution of capital. It's about redistribution.
But I mean, isn't that what arranged marriages is? Isn't arranged marriages in a caste system a redistribution of pussy? Isn't that that's exactly what it is?
Yeah,
because
you're still going to have people complaining in terms of fairness about who gets the hot high cast girl. I mean, at the end of the day, like it's just your question is coming from the belief that, as we said, life has to be fair or even or equal. That mindset, trying to understand that paradigm of life is never going to work for you ever. Like you just have to first accept this isn't fair and there's things I can do to change my circumstance. And that's what I'm going to focus on. What is that guy with 30 girls doing in order to get them? And I'm going to try either replicate that or work on myself so that I can have my own choice. I wouldn't be waiting for, or move to India. Maybe that's what we do. We started
not if you're white. They got no love for they're not going to arrange marriage to you. But another funny paradox is that if you want to bring fairness to the world, you have to win the game anyway. So like, for example, if your big thing is like, I want to help guys get laid, well, you have to learn game to begin with. So you have to play the competitive game of actually being able to attract girls better than the average guy. Or like, let's say you want to like give money back. Well, you have to make the money first, which again involves competing against all the people in your industry. So that's another paradox. But yeah, life will never be fair. Looking for life to be fair, it's just you're just gonna be disappointed. People are all born with all kinds of advantages, disadvantages. I mean, dude, fucking all of us have a massive advantage. We're born in a first world country, and
that's true.
None of us have like a disability. That's already a humongous disadvantage. Put in like above average intelligence and like all that shit and social skills, and it's like like we already have like a lot. Even anyone here, even if you don't have social skills, just because you're born in a first world country and you're relatively healthy, you already have a big advantage.
How about this? Before 1939, when we had broad spectrum antibiotics, the mortality rate for syphilis, or for syphilis was 58%. 58% mortality rate. Guys, think about all the people that have gotten chlamydia, gonorrhea, or syphilis. There's Al Capone died of syphilis. Like, think about just antibiotics alone. Think about like high-speed internet. There's just so many advantages we have that we could totally take for granted every day, man. The mortality rate of women in child birth somewhere between 10 and 25%. Just crazy numbers. Like you knew there was like a 1 in 10 chance your wife was going to die whenever she gave birth. It's just nuts.
Yeah, when people pine for like, oh, life was so good in the 50s or whatever era, usually it's the 50s, but it can be whatever era. It's just like, I always look at that as just like, dude, like life has never been better for the people who know how to live it right now. Girls have never been more attractive. Like, have you ever looked at videos of girls in their 50s? You think any of them are hot? You think like they're all like, the hottest girl in the 50s is like average girl in LA right now. So yeah, just in so many ways, life has become better. Not for everyone, but for the people who know how to win at the game of life.
True.
But there's the argument for that. There's this book. Man, I'm struggling to remember the name. I have this like written down somewhere, trying to find it, but it's basically like 100 ways why now is like the best time in history to live. But then there's the counter argument to that. There's this book called Civilized to Death. I could probably find it from that term. I like took notes on this, but in Civilized to Death, he basically details like the top 10 ways that everything has become worse in a way. Here we go. So the ways that things have become better, there's like 100 of them. I don't want to go through all of them. You guys probably already know them, but the 10 ways that things have become worse: loss of community. Modern society basically has very little close-knit communities that we used to have. Chronic stress as opposed to like acute stress. So you have chronic stress of financial responsibilities, social expectations, diet and health. So our diet and health is worse because it's like an evolutionary mismatch.
But it doesn't
Work-life
need to be. Like,
imbalance.
we have the option to eat super healthy if we want to.
I agree. I think you could be healthier now than, back in the Paleolithic time,
Yeah.
but you have to make intentional choices. Most
Yes.
people are less healthy now.
Yes.
Environmental degradation, mental health crisis, inequality, lack of autonomy, violence and warfare, disconnected from nature. Those are the ways.
Violence and
A lot of
warfare
these
is
can be
definitely better
remedied.
now than it was before. And as far as mental health, bro, it was worse before. Have you read
So
some stories?
what he argues
Just
is
undiagnosed.
the Steven Pinker thing. He says, yes, even including the 20th century, death from warfare has gone down. But what Christopher Ryan argues is that violence, the modern violence has resulted in a lot more suffering compared to like the small scale conflicts of early humans.
I don't think anything's provided more suffering than the World War I. How many people died from disease before antibiotics, and then World War II, 100 million people died.
Paleolithic times. So like Paleolithic times, I think a quarter of all men in Paleolithic times were murdered or like killed by some other man.
For sure, that was definitely worse. I mean, there was a point.
Century, even the 20th century compared to that it's fewer people died, but it's still there's more widespread suffering, I think.
But like for like us, the chance of like, I think it also depends on where you live. Yeah, if you were born in Gaza, you are fucked. Or just anywhere where America likes to meddle. But if you're in America or Australia or whatever, then the chance of you dying in war, unless you just choose to join the military, is like insanely small.
Dude, Alex, I have an AI app idea for you. My friend who I play Ultimate Frisbee with here, he was coming up with this problem. He's like, I messaged so many girls, and then I have to like review the entire text exchange. Sometimes you don't meet up with the girl for like a month or two. And then he's like, what if you had an app where you just like export the text and it basically gives you an entire like summary of everything you talked about, like the key points? I think that'd be a really cool idea.
I got a crazy idea. Why don't you take pictures of her, put it in Pem Eyes so that you can see exactly if she's ever been on any kind of adult friend finder or website like that.
I'm the one who told you about that, Mike.
Oh yeah. No, I remember. But there's a further thing. Have you seen it shows the web archive? Is it webarchive.com? I forgot what it is. It can go to websites that don't exist anymore and show you what was on there before. So even if the girl's profile is gone, I think that's how they found the Travis Hunter girlfriend thing, and then go on Perplexity, do deep research on the girl, put in her IG account, and it tells you literally every single thing about her, bro. And so it's so crazy how much stuff you can find out now. Like the whole digital footprint. Like for me, I don't care. Like unless I'm considering dating a girl, I don't care what her past is if we're just hooking up. But like the amount of, I just don't think women understand like the digital footprint that they had for the men who do care about that, bro. It's going to be hard to get out from underneath that. And I'm telling you, Brand, once we get to the quantum cryptography and they go through every single porn website, whatever, and start cracking everyone's password, you're going to start seeing politicians outed for being gay, watching weird stepbrother porn. You're going to see all of it, bro.
What's weird about stepbrother porn?
It's not, I guess. It's your
Mike, I'm waiting for your first date video. Okay, here's how to prepare for the first date. What you're going to do is you're going to crack open Pim Eyes, get the girl's Instagram.
Yeah,
wait,
for sure. And show it to her right in front of her. Right in front of her.
Your audio is a bit shitty. It's like a kind of quiet. I don't know if your big dildo mic is working.
But I'll just tell you guys a story. I have a client.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is that better?
That's now you turn on your. It's sure mic's working good now. I'll tell you a story. I had a client, after you told me the Pim Eyes thing, I had a client. He lives in a place where there's a questionable, highly amount of escorts. I'm not going to say where. And he's there, and he shows me this girl, blonde hair, blue-eyed, Eastern European. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm pretty sure that's an escort. He's like, no, man, I've talked to her. She comes from a good family. She's super nice to me. I was like, no, bro, I'm pretty sure that's an escort. And then he goes, but I met her. She had a boyfriend. I was like, yeah, escorts have boyfriends, bro. I'm pretty sure this girl's an escort. Like, that's all it is. He uses the Pim Eyes. He goes on Web Archive, finds her on like multiple sugar daddy websites. He does all this stuff, and he's like angry. He's like coming back to me. He's like, bro, I can't believe that I saw this. This like makes me so angry. And I was like, bro, it's like kind of obvious when you watch her behavior. You message her. You had plans with her.
Bro, she was sucking my dick last night. Okay,
yeah. And she's no. I've had it before where I've had guys tell me they're like nuts about some girl, and I don't, because I'm friends with her. I don't want to snitch on the fact that she's a sugar baby. So I'm just like, hey man, maybe you ought to like think about something else, because I don't want to be a snitch. But it's like, bro, it's when I watch this stuff, it's like he couldn't fathom, because she was so beautiful, he couldn't fathom that she was an escort. And I was like, bro, of course she's an escort. Like, it's obvious. Whenever you ask her a question, she's like, oh yeah, I'd love to hang out with you. And then she never shows up. And then she switches the subject and messages you randomly. She's just mass texting a bunch of girls, a bunch of leads she's got on the reel. And then she has like the 2 or 3 richest ones that she probably has sex with. And it's just like, he couldn't grasp it. But like, I'm telling you, the way that AI is able to like research these girls, yo, they got no shot here pretty soon. Like, I'm telling you, bro, every dude is going to be able to find out in like 2 seconds.
GG. No more fucking easy street for these undercover escorts. All right, next question. How to escalate on dance floor, different ways to pull, etc. Me personally, I like to get the girl off the dance floor, but I don't know. I think Marcus and Austen, you guys are better able to answer this question.
Yeah, man. Like, whenever I hear this question, I'm trying to think where it's coming from. And usually these guys, it's like the standard mainstream game, which is have a couple of drinks, find a girl on a dance floor, go over, dance with her, and then now the question is like, how do I escalate from here? Guys try to make out. I think you're just approaching this the wrong way. My first thing is dance floor is the last option of where you should be actually meeting girls and approaching girls. You need a like smoking area, bar, like fucking creepily hang out in front of the toilets. That's probably better than the dance floor. Like literally anywhere is going to be better than the dance floor. So that should be your last option. If you end up on the dance floor, this is an area where I'm trying not to heavily escalate too much, because again, this is what she's used to. It's mainstream. Every guy tries to get handsy and make out on the dance floor. Sure, you can get a little physical here, but I would just dance for a little bit, let her do a thing, and then get her off, right? Hey, let's go grab a drink. Let's go sit over here. It's quiet. I can't hear you. That's where you can more verbally escalate or physically escalate there. Avoid the dance floor.
Yeah, I've only really used the dance floor as a way to kind of just like change the dynamic a bit. So I'll meet a girl in a more quiet area, and then I'll just move to the dance floor to kind of build up the buying temperature before pulling. But I don't really even go to clubs that have like a crazy dance floor anyway. And I don't know. I like dancing, but I like dancing more by myself, to be honest, than with a girl. I don't know. These questions, I even when I just read the question, I just feel like the answer is going to be boring. I don't really know how to make that. The technical answers are always kind of not that interesting.
Yeah. The trick is to build up enough status to not be on the dance floor. The best place to meet women is in the VIP at the party, the VIP of the nightclub. Like, that's why guys want to be in the VIP, because there's always way more girls than guys there.
Yeah. Michael, does online dating work for guys over 30 to get girls in their prime 2025? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. That's all I. Hey, so again, I was having dinner with Ty like 2 nights ago, Ty Lopez, and he was going over this idea of women over the age of 35. It's called geriatric pregnancy, because there's like some fragmentation of their DNA. He also went over and showed me some data that like if men over the age of like say 45 have sex with women who are under 25, that their youth can repair the man's fragmented DNA. Look this shit up. It's crazy. What? So like, of course, and which makes sense, because when you consider from a hypergamous standpoint throughout history, you'd have like 40% of men and 80% of women have reproduced. So you would have a guy who would have one wife, and then she'd get older, then he'd have another wife, then he'd have another. By the time he's at his third wife and he's in his 40s or 50s, he still needs to be able to have healthy children. So her ability to be able to give him healthy children under the age of 25, look up the research, and it's pretty amazing when you see this stuff. Yes, obviously, dude, I'm 47. I've never dated every girl who wants to go out with me is under 25. I don't think it's any issue at all, because women under 25, I think, are actually more susceptible to stimulus than when they get older. So I don't think it's an issue whatsoever.
Michael, do you, I'm just curious, do you want to settle down one day, or what's your plan?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I had a girlfriend for 2 years. You guys saw it. I was pretty open about it.
So you want to like actually like have get married and have kids, or what's your?
I don't know about get married, but have kids for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. I'm reading this right now. Increased paternal age, especially after 40 to 45, is associated with higher risk of autism, schizophrenia, and certain genetic disorders. Younger women have healthier eggs and stronger DNA repair mechanisms.
Stronger DNA repair mechanisms. Bro, you want to talk about like how they talk about biology is misogynistic? Holy shit, bro. It's like older women with younger men can't repair their DNA, but older men with younger women, they can. And there's data behind it. So fuck Michael Sartain, bro. Fuck all of us for sitting there spreading this propaganda, even though it's completely true. We're probably going to get demonetized again.
Well, I don't know if I can get demonetized again. I think I'm already lost my monetization.
Yeah.
You know, if they do take action, hopefully it's to give me my monetization back. Here, Michael, you might have an answer for this. Is there a way to translate messages quickly that you guys have found? So I think he means from like a different language.
Yeah.
So
I use Google Translate or Translate or the Translate app. I use either one of them. They work really good when someone speaks into them for English, Spanish, Portuguese.
No, he means, I think it means like like let's say you're talking to a girl on Tinder and then like she sends you a bunch of like fucking Spanish shit instead of like copy and pasting.
Yeah, I just copy and paste it. Why would you not do that? I'll copy and paste it into Translate app.
It just, if there's a lot of them, I think it can be like annoying.
So
I'll say Translate app's the best thing I've seen.
You can get there's an app I have called iMazing. And there's other like Apple apps where you can export your entire conversation, and then you just take that conversational transcript, and then you could translate it that way. That's also like I was thinking about for the thing where give me a summary of this girl and like everything before I go on the date with her. You could actually use that for it. Dude, I wanted to give you guys before this podcast gets too late. I'm gonna have to drop off in 30 minutes, but literally the best piece of value that I could give anyone listening right now. I recently found out about this. If you get a library card, you have access to so much crazy shit that you have no fucking clue existed. So for a guy like Michael, you like a lot of science stuff. Library card gives you access to basically every scientific publication ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously some like
Nexus,
Anna's
Lexus,
archive or whatever that you can get everything for free, but they don't update scientific papers anymore. So you can get it through your library. Second thing is museums. If you like going to museums, they're all free with your library card. Third, there's this app called Canopy. It basically has like documentaries, movies, stuff like that are not on any other streaming platform. And then for audiobooks, there's this called Hoopla and what's the other one? Libby. You have 100,000 audiobooks that are accessible with your library card. This like blew my mind when I figured this out.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's amazing.
So yeah, literally just go to your library, get a library card. It takes literally 1 minute, and they explain to you how it works for like another minute, and then you have access to all this crazy shit. And for the brokies in the audience, like that means that every book, audiobook, or ebook that you want to read is on there for free. You don't have to pirate anything, because that is the annoying part of piracy. If you pirate an audiobook, which I've never done, but you have to then like put it onto your phone and then load it in the correct order on your book player app. It's annoying. Versus you just get it for free through your library. It's already on your phone, and you have access to hundreds of thousands of books and audiobooks. So it's a no-brainer.
I'll give a little piece of value. So if you guys want to read a very entertaining book that I just recently finished reading, type in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It's an alternative reality where Abraham Lincoln was actually a vampire killer. And it sounds fucking dumb, but it is really, really fucking catchy. And I read that book in literally like 3 days because it's so fucking good. So check that out.
I love that guys have come here for advice about how to get women, and we have clips of Austen being like, get a library card, get a book about vampire diaries.
But dude, it's part of self-development, right?
Especially
starting out, these guys could get like literally the best audiobooks on self-development into their ears.
Agreed.
Anytime you guys do anything, you should be listening to an audiobook. Like I just went to the gym. I'm listening to an audiobook. Walk my dog, audiobook. Go jerk off, audiobook. It's just like rule of 3, baby. Comedy.
I finished 2 books this week. One of them was Blitzed. Have you guys read that one about all the methamphetamine that the Nazis were on?
I'm familiar with the premise of that book.
Incredible book. But anyway, the thing is, because if you go through 20 to maybe 40, 60 books a year, even if they're audiobooks, just you're so much better at conversating at a dinner table or a party. I have endless things to talk about because I try to go through at least 1 or 2 books a week, and I try to read 10 pages of a physical book every night before I go to bed. And man, I'm telling you, it's just like Marcus was making a joke. It was like, they came on here to find out stuff about girls. Nothing has helped me more talking to girls, because the question I get all the time is, Michael, how do you keep things to talk about? How do you never run out of things to talk about? Bro, I read 40 books a year. That's how I never run out of things to talk about. And you'd be shocked. Like, my favorite question, I've told you guys this before, my favorite question to ask girls, absolutely incredible, works almost every time. Have you ever thought about starting a podcast? You ask girls this, and they just light up and they just start running their mouth about all these incredible ideas they had while they were taking a shit. And they're like, oh, yeah, I want to start a podcast. And me and my girlfriend, we're going to drink wine and tell these bitches how shit is really supposed. And they'll just run their mouth. And it's just like, it's the greatest opener I've ever seen. Because
it definitely works, but it also makes me depressed. It makes me depressed because I hear what they have to say, and I'm like, not everyone has valuable things to say.
Hey guys, I'm currently delivering groceries in Amsterdam. Is there a good way to flirt with clients, or is it best to avoid that?
Dude, don't be a pussy. What are you afraid of losing your delivering groceries job, bro? Don't be a pussy, bro.
Yeah, if you don't really care about that job, which you probably don't, then I would say, I don't know. I would still like kind of feel out the vibe. Like, it depends on like, I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, I'd go with subcoms here to begin with, right? Like, yeah, I wouldn't be delivering the groceries and then just laying it on thick, like, yeah, holy shit, you look fucking amazing, blah blah. Can I come in or some bullshit? But yeah, if there's a hot girl that answers the door, then just try to sound confident, right? What are you laughing at?
I got you a different.
I'm just like laughing at like, damn, I got some. Oh, did you order the Dutch sausage? Oh man, got a big order for you.
Exactly. Just pull out the big cucumber, ask if this is what you ordered. Like, but yeah, I mean, feel it out. Like, if you feel like there's some interest or compliance there, then you can continue that. You can follow it up. Obviously, you got other deliveries to do, I imagine. So you're probably grabbing a number. But yeah, fuck it. Who cares? Like, you can always practice having better tonality, better social skills, better expressiveness with all the people you fucking deliver to. If you get some good receptiveness back, then grab a number. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I think this is the principle too of like, you want to learn game in an anonymous environment before learning it in like a super like reputation damaging environment. Like if you get those like first 100 to 1,000 reps out of the way, and you can start getting some social intuition based on like when girls are interested in you, then when you do see it, you can take advantage of those opportunities. Dude, I'm kind of pissed. The one game situation that I regret not pursuing. I just got a couch surfing account. I was going to travel around Europe just using couch surfing. And the first girl, before I even went to Europe in New York City, this like hot Brazilian girl with giant tits. I'm still friends with her to this day. She like, dude, she was giving me every sign, and I was like, I don't want to risk this going bad because I need this account for Europe, But man.
Yeah, I've had friends get from sleeping with a bunch of girls off fucking couch surfing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, actually, my David Bond's like closest friend growing up was this guy who he was an orphan, and he'd always had like these like kind of harem situations, like multiple girls he's seeing, and he would invite only girls from outside the U.S. that are traveling to his place in Los Angeles, and he got a lot of like threesomes, foursomes out of it. There's always a new funnel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, they clicked onto it though. I think they started banning a bunch of people for hosting girls and then just sleeping with all
of them. What would
this guy says? What would you recommend more as a career? Becoming a sex or dating coach in Spanish, or becoming an OnlyFans manager? Me personally, I would recommend being a sex or dating coach, because I think OnlyFans management might be going by the wayside as soon as AI like fucking porn and shit comes out. Also, keep this in mind, like if you're an OnlyFans manager, you're literally like destroying men's lives. Like you're literally getting men more addicted to porn and like this like fucking weird gray area of like intimacy from like this fucking weird online connection where they're chatting with like Indian men online, versus sex and dating coach, you're actually helping people. So
if you become an OnlyFans management person, so like I know the people who own some of the biggest agencies. I know like Live Rich Media and the guys who own Unruly and several of these agencies. Corey Yee, she has an agency, probably another 20, 25 agencies I know. The girls, you will build them up. A lot of times you can't build them up, but you'll build them up. And as soon as you build them up, those clients are now theirs. And then they leave you because they don't need you anymore. As soon as you get your growth curve stops at all, the girls, 100% chance they're going to leave the OF agency. The market is completely flooded. And like you said, with AI, it's getting to the point where it's super easy. A lot of these girls are like hiring their own account managers from the Philippines to answer the messages with creepy, messages, whatever. So no, the OF thing is way, way, way too flooded. As far as being a dating coach, I mean, if you build a brand, I mean, nobody's going to replace that. So I think that's a way better way to go.
Although also kind of flooded, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty flooded too, but not as flooded as OF content, OF manager. That's like ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe neither of these are probably like, you just need to ask where your skills are at. Like if you're just a guy sitting at home and you have no idea what you're doing, then becoming a dating coach is just not going to work for you. But if you already like have some success, you've coached like your friends and shit like that, then sure, go for it.
Michael, what are some upcoming events that you can put girls on the guest list so I can invite super hot girls I can open threads with?
March 8th, I believe, is going to be Babes in Toyland. It's going to be Swim Week. It's for animal rescue. And then I have a bikini competition coming up in May. And then in June, we have Babes in Toyland, support the troops. And then there's going to be Maxim Hot 100. And then, I have to give you a bunch. You hit me up, man. Just write me on Instagram or just join the school server. MOA mentoring. Go to school.com / actually just look up school, the MOA forum, Men of Action forum, and I'll answer all these questions for you. Cool. Yeah, we have a list on our forum of all the events you can invite people to. Oh, I'm sorry. In May, we're having Babes in Toyland in Miami, and we have like 300 girls. It's an FHM party.
Thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it, Mr. Young Villain. Thank you. All right. I went on a date with a girl. She came back to mine. We kissed on my bed, but when I tried to smash, she got surprised and didn't want to. Said she thought I was a virgin. Should I try again?
How the fuck does this happen? How does this happen?
Ouch, Harvey, my man. I feel for you, bro. Damn.
So, yeah.
You have a couple other problems here. If
it doesn't hurt to try again. But yeah, it seems like you just got some LMR. Seems like probably part of the issue was before you even got her into bed, like she thought you were a virgin. I promise you, no one ever thinks I'm a virgin. So yeah, I would say that. But it seems like also when you got her on bed, you got LMR. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to try again. There's no downside to try again.
Yeah, Marcus will demonstrate now how he escalates toward sex. He's going to do a 15-minute demonstration with his sex doll, and we'll show you how.
Yeah, dude, but seriously, the question here should not be, should I try again? Like,
yeah,
yes, you should. All right, yeah, we all agree. You should try again if you have a chance to try. That's
not the question.
Okay, that should, like, if some girl looks at you and says, I thought you were a virgin, that's
a bigger problem.
Yo, why did that happen? Right now, it could be the obvious that maybe you made out with her and you had no idea what you're doing. You're making out with her, that you like fumbled, you seem really nervous in bed, blah, blah. Or it could just be that you maybe were fairly confident, but you never went anywhere near sexual. And maybe you tried to make it out that you're a really nice, good guy that is like, oh, I've had one girlfriend before. And like if that's the, you need to ask why this happened. And fuck it, ask the girl. Don't worry about like trying it. I would actually message her and be like, yo, let's get some feedback here. I'm curious, like what gave you this perception? And try to improve that, because that is going to long-term fix way more problems than trying to get like with this one girl. Yeah.
And then send her a video of you fucking another girl to prove to her that you're not virgin.
Exactly. Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Does this look like a virgin to you?
She's like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, this proved my point. But yeah.
What advice would you guys give to a submissive man looking for strong, dominant women who can provide for him? Oh, Jesus.
Is this a troll comment or is this
Are they trolling us? I don't understand, bro.
I'm just going to
sure it's a troll comment.
I can't, even if you're not trolling, I don't know how to answer that question. Austin, what fun activities do you do on weekends besides going to bars, especially when you're in a relationship? Feels like everything revolves around drinking. Well, I can speak for Austin. He plays Ultimate Frisbee. I know he's a big fan of that. He goes hiking.
He's in a book club.
He's in a Men with Large Dildos club. I mean,
yeah.
I think, but yeah, he does like outdoors
cross-dressing night,
sporty shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have beef with AG Hayden? No, absolutely not. I like AG. Oh, Austin. Okay, real quick. What fun activities do you do on weekends besides going to bars?
I like to work. So I don't do too many fun things, but with my girlfriend, I guess he's asking for my girlfriend. I'll take her to the shooting range. I go on like overnight backpacking trips. What else do we do? We go to shows all the time, dude. I live
Austin's girlfriend. Are you trying to go out with Austin's girlfriend? Is that why he's asking this question? He wants advice.
Unfortunately, she's too obsessed with me. I apologize.
That's foul, bro. That's fucked up, bro.
This weekend we went to a comedy show. We go to like see classical music all the time, like plays and stuff like that. All fun stuff.
There's a lot of like things to do in my city type sites and apps and shit like that, depending on what city you're in. But you can go check those out, and it's a nice way to be able to experience things and figure out if it's something you want to do again or you actually like it without having to like spend too much money or like worry about the organization. So yeah, if you jump on those apps, you can usually find some cool shit to do in the city. Damn, biceps.
I hate to beat a dead horse. You go to perplexity.ai and the deep research, you say, what are things that I can do with my girlfriend that require very little money? List them from top to bottom and give me the top 30. And then when it gives you an answer, then say, no, I want these, but they need to be only this amount of money and during this time. And it'll give you another list and then use that.
Yeah, I got
beat
a
dead horse, but that's the answer. Of where I live.
I got a question
10 miles of where I live. Yeah, go ahead.
How many weeks do you think it is before we all jump on this panel and then there's a box that just has Perplexity AI that has replaced Michael and he's just an AI?
Dude, this is why I'm doubling down on in-person coaching.
Okay.
Online's gone.
Funny you should mention that. We actually had an AI go through and deconstruct my vocal intonations and my speech patterns, and then it gave me a summary and it was completely accurate. And so now we're copywriting in my voice based on the way I talk. It's pretty freaking amazing. So the answer is, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks.
What are some specific things you've learned in the past 12 months that bettered your game? Honestly, I don't think I've learned anything in the past 12 months that bettered my game in any substantial way. What about you guys?
Only one thing. It's called a couple things, but for relationships, the Offner technique, but I made it called the Roffner. I kind of switched it up a bit. Basically, like it's a technique to have a conversation. It's from nonviolent communication. And yeah, should I go into it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so basically, Roffner stands for reaffirm, observations, feelings, needs, requests. So it's just like it's a way where you can bring up like an issue that doesn't trigger people, and it's quite direct as well. But it's basically like you reaffirm your feelings for her and the commitment. I love you. I want to be with you. Then observations. But when I notice that you don't immediately, text me back or return my calls, I feel disrespected. So feelings, and then needs. What I need in a relationship is to feel respected by my partner, and then requests. So would you be willing to set up, a setting where my calls always go through to you? And would you promise to always call me back if you miss my call? So it's an example of it.
Interesting. I'll tell you too. I've got one, probably the biggest cheat code I've seen is close friends list on Instagram. I only put super hot girls on there that I haven't gone out with, or like I haven't built enough traction. They get to see the pre-selection stuff, and then my regular story, that's where girls that I'm currently seeing, they get to see all the rest of that. That has generated so much attraction with so many hot women. I show it sometimes. I can pull it up right now, like the last close friends list story. If you go through, it's over half of it is just super hot girls watching because they see that green circle and they just want to know, okay, what is this guy showing that he doesn't want to show to other people? So that's probably been one of the most effective one. And the other one was just getting, like, I was probably 12 months ago, I was probably 231 pounds and I was all muscle, and just getting smaller. Honestly, there was just no reason for me to be that heavy. So I'm about like 208 right now, and girls just like it better when I'm leaner. They don't need me to, need me to have fucking huge arms and huge shoulders. Like if I'm leaner, they just tend to find that more attractive, especially at 47.
Isn't that crazy? I think I read some stat. It was like men overestimate how much muscle they need to be optimally attractive by 30 pounds. Correct. And it's like those extra 30 pounds, that's like insane amounts of work and dedication to get that. And it kind of works against you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the Evolution of Desire. He goes over that. Women believe they need to be skinnier than men want them to be, and men think they need to be bigger than women want them to
be. Yeah, that is true. Women do feel like, I do notice like skinny girls who feel like they're fat. Marcus, what about you?
Yeah, past 12 months, it's usually evolution of like the way I coach as opposed to like gaming principles. A lot of the gaming principles I feel like we've got pretty laid out over like the last, I don't know, I've been gaming for like 10 years now. So there might be like little things that pop up, but no real like game changes. It's not like tomorrow I'm going to be like, holy shit, there's this one thing that I didn't realize over the last 10 years that is drastically like, it's usually like these small little nuances or like ways that I coach. So yeah, a lot of the things that I established, the big ones were around like sexual value, sexual DHVs, way to escalate verbally. Those are always the big game changes that I've kind of experienced, but that hasn't been the last 12 months. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, and in addition to that, one way I've changed my coaching, half of my coaching now is inner game, and I take people through so many different inner game exercises. Like, yeah, that's something that I did a little bit in the past. You know, it'd be like 10 to 20% on immersion would be that. Now my programs are basically all, it's almost like I do as little theory as possible, and I get them to do as many exercises as possible, inner game exercises, and then in-field experience.
What kind of inner game exercises will you guys do?
Yeah, so there's one I do toward the end, which people really like. It's people write out their values, the values that they've been living in their life, and then we have them to reevaluate those values. How could those come in conflict? You know, their positive values, their negative values, and then in order for them to basically become the man that they need to be, in order to like attain their dating goals, what kind of values do they have to have? And then we establish the rules for those values. And this is like the end of, I've been reading a lot about ACT therapy. It's acceptance and commitment therapy. And it's one of the last steps of that.
Okay, interesting question. Is there such a thing as an ethical player? Do short-term relationships inevitably lead to a trail of broken hearts and disappointed people? Abba kind of said this in response to Destiny and stuff. No, there is absolutely such a thing as an ethical player. Short-term relationships do not need to lead to broken hearts. If all you have to do is just be honest and transparent, that's it. You can be a total player if you're honest and straight up. In fact, I would argue that because girls are so used to guys like saying whatever to get laid, that by being like honest, it's almost like in some ways can give you an advantage. So yeah, like you can absolutely have lots of short-term sex in a very honest way where no one is disappointed. You certainly don't have a trail of broken hearts or disappointed people, haven't in quite a while. Yeah, you can do it in an ethical way. I don't know what
I might add on to that it might be okay if there is some disappointment and broken hearts. I mean, that's going to happen even in like relationships or things that aren't short term, that are, you know, more long term. But yeah, I agree. You just have to be honest here. And I think as men, I think we've all figured this out, but a lot of girls, as Alex mentioned, they do appreciate the honesty. And a lot of them don't want like a guy really wanting to settle down right away. That's going to push a lot of girls away, that like neediness. So just coming out and being like, yeah, I do want something short term and I want to see where it goes first, is going to make a lot of girls feel way more comfortable around you. They're going to chase a little bit more. There's going to be room to do that. And as long as you're setting those expectations, like, and you can tell with different girls, some do get really attached. If I notice that, I'm not going to see them like multiple times a week. Like that's a once, maybe once every 2 weeks or 1 week type of girl. Like I'm going to keep my distance there a little bit so she doesn't fucking go crazy. So yeah, it's 100% you can do this the right way.
Yeah, I feel like the vast majority, sorry, Mike, I was just going to say, the vast majority of the time when there's broken hearts, disappointed people, it's when there's some kind of lying or deception involved, or at the very least lying by omission, which I actually learned about in the last like 4 or 5 years, how that can actually hurt people. Just like, because I would, for a very long time, I would just avoid telling like outright lies, but sometimes I would leave things out. But as long as you don't lie by omission or just lie, that's going to alleviate like 95 to 99% of the problem. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
All right, so there are girls who get into committed relationships with men and get in like horrible heartbreak, even though it was a committed relationship. And then there are women that you can tell them straight up from the beginning. I had a girl recently. She was like, I'm very confused by you. And I'm like, why were you confused? She's like, I thought you were really interested in me. And I said, I really told you I was looking for someone I just wanted to be friends with. And if we wanted to sleep together, that's fine. But like, I'm not looking for a relationship. And yet she was still confused. Sometimes women will just hear whatever they want to hear. So to answer your question, women can get hurt because they don't listen, or women don't get hurt, or you'll have some girls where you're like sleeping with them casually and then like you want more, and then just you want to have more sex with them, and then they just kind of ghost you. Like, I really don't think there's any ethical nature in being here's the problem. Being monogamous is not more ethical than being a player. Say it to yourself. Repeat it to the nearest feminists. Being a player, dating multiple people does not make you a worse person than being monogamous. It doesn't. But there's these Hallmark cards and fucking Disney and the church keep selling you this thing where it's like, well, you're kind of screwing up by screwing around, but once you have a family and kids, then you're a better person. I agree. Like, there's definitely benefits to having a wife and kids. I'm sure there are, but you're not better than me because you're in a monogamous relationship and I'm dating 4 girls. That doesn't make you a better person.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask a spicy question. What do you guys think about the Destiny situation?
What's the newest one
situation?
It's a week or 2 old. So he shared so he was trying to fuck this 19-year-old or 20-year-old, whatever. And he shared a video of him fucking a girl with her. And then that girl either shared the video or got hacked. And basically the video got leaked. And so the original girl got really pissed off because she didn't think that video would be shared. And now she's suing him. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, don't send videos unless you have consent from the girl.
I mean, I've said this before, guys. Stop snitching on yourself. Like, there's a way he could have sent the video that didn't show any nudity or showed photos or something else, rather than showing explicit like sexual intercourse. I know it seems like, oh man, that's a really good like pre-selection move to make the girl jealous, bro. The downside, the negative part of it is a felony in the state of California. It's a misdemeanor in Nevada for revenge porn, and revenge porn is in the eye of the beholder. I don't think that Destiny was trying to get revenge on this woman, but those revenge porn laws might still pertain to him. Guys, stop fucking snitching on yourselves. Stop sending lascivious messages. Stop sending girls nudes. Stop doing any of this shit, because it's only going to be used against you. If you cannot do that stuff and have sex with a girl, then why are you doing it? It only hurts you. As your attorney, I recommend you keep your mouth silent and don't tell the cops shit until your attorney is present. The police are not there to help you. The media is not there to help you. Social media is not there to help you. As soon as you stop fucking the girl or break up with the girl, all those messages you sent can and will be used against you. Stop snitching on yourself, guys. Seriously, the lascivious stuff, oh man, I want to bend you over this and do this. Do it in person when she's in your apartment. Stop putting it on Telegram. Stop putting it on fucking WhatsApp. You guys see Andrew is being hemmed up in Romania because of voice messages he left. Stop snitching on yourself. I don't know how many more times I got to fucking explain this.
The Andrew situation is a bit different, I would say.
I gotta push back here. Like, I don't have a problem if, like, I will send sex to girls, and I have no problem if they share that, put that online. Like, if you have a back and forth of a girl saying, like, tell me what you're gonna do to me, and then you say it, and you know, I text as if it's like an erotica. Girls love that shit. If she was to post that, or girls actually show their friends and shit, I have no issue with that. I think the big issue is if you're just sending a fucking dick pic without any, like, if that gets shared and the girl's like, hey, how's your weekend? Boom, dick pic. Yeah, like, that looks really bad. And, you know, it wasn't asked for.
I think we're changing the whole situation. Really, the crux of the issue is that he shared a sex tape of a girl that he had sex with another girl.
Yeah, I don't know that makes him a bad guy.
I don't think it makes him a bad guy either.
No,
it sucks for him. And I heard he apologized, right? He apologized for it.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's everybody on my side of the aisle just wants to fucking pile on Destiny. I don't want to pile on him. He made a mistake, you know, it's whatever.
Yeah, I'm still cool with the guy. I definitely don't want to pile on him. I made an X post when this whole thing happened. It's probably wrong that he did that. He acknowledges that. But it is kind of also, you see a lot of people like virtue signaling, like, oh my God, he's so evil. But in reality, the point I made is that this is something that a lot of guys have done in their past at some point in their life. And they just won't admit it. But he just got caught and he's famous. So that's why it's a big thing for him. It doesn't make it right, but it's something that a lot of guys have done.
But isn't that bad game? Why is he sending a video of him fucking someone else?
No, because he was
that game. Like,
I disagree. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad game. I just think you're putting yourself up at risk.
I think they were like sexting or whatever, and she asked like, "Hey, do you have any videos of you?" Whatever.
Okay, I don't know the context, but yeah, sending a video like that out of the blue just make sense to me.
Oh, yeah, out of the blue would be weird.
No, it wasn't out of the blue. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But again, the issue lay in the
fact
that
the girl that he was banging in the video didn't even know that he was sending it.
Yes, exactly.
And was her face in it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Then that's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's just he didn't deliberately do it. That's what I'm saying.
It's wrong. Yeah. All right. Anyway, we can move on. I've got an intermediate question. Should you continue seeing someone if you're enjoying your company but don't want if you're enjoying their company but don't want an LTR, but they do? Probably more of an ethical game question.
This is very nuanced.
I think you got to keep leading her on as long as possible. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is very.
I mean, as long as you're honest, like the thing that I kind of live by is I can control my actions, but if another person wants to do something after they have the information that they have, that's up to them. Like I can't be living my whole life trying to live other people's lives at the same time. So if I'm seeing a girl and I tell her like, she's like, hey, I want to get married, have kids. And I tell her, like, that's not me. Okay. You can go out, you can find your future husband, you can have kids. But with me right now, I'm just looking for some fun. If you want to have some fun, like we can keep seeing each other every now and again. Now, if we keep doing that and at some point she gets hurt or upset or she kept trying to tell herself that there might be something, that's not on me, right? I was honest. I told her what's up. I kind of kept my distance enough there. If she wants to keep seeing me, because 90% of the time, that's going to be completely fine. Like the girl will want a long-term relationship somewhere. She'll keep seeing you. She'll have fun. And then eventually she'll find someone. So I'm not going to change my behaviors for like the small amount of girls that might eventually get upset with this. I think you're completely fine here. As long as you're honest and open, they can make their decision. They've got the information there.
I second what Marcus said. That's my answer too.
Yep, agreed.
I have a question for you guys. So I'm going to film this video soon. Christian picks up girls. Maybe Christian church boy picks up girls or something. Are there any lines that you use with Christian girls? Like, for example, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. Stuff like this. Anything off the top of your head?
I can probably come up with some like funny ones. I don't know much about like or scripture or organized religion now, but
I would straight up.
I would say, have you had your confession? Have you confessed yet?
And that's a good one.
She can be like, for what? She's like, for what you're about to do. I don't know. That can be funny.
That's good.
Okay. Where are you? I can generate these in my head pretty quickly, but yeah, if you want, I can send you a voice memo after this with a bunch. Austin, crazy idea. You could come to Miami. We could do this video together.
Dude, I have one. She belongs to the congregation. I'll give you my best open. Is this seat saved? Because I am. I have this pretty much 95% scripted. I was just wondering if you guys had any crazy things.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm confused. Are you literally going to church and finding these girls?
No. I'm just gonna dress up as like a very good Christian boy and just
part of the video. Wait, but for part of the video though, for the ending, you should go to a church and try to see if you can pick up a girl there.
Yeah, I want to see you mid-service pull. I like
to start the videos off with like a scene. So I think I'm going to start like at a church or something, get divine inspiration, and then I say, God has called me to the single woman's ministry. And then,
or how about we need to make it realistic? How about you are bent over for some priest who's having his way with you? that would make it more realistic,
Yeah, I like it.
And then it pans out. It's like,
last night I was reading through the book of Numbers, and I realized I don't have yours. What is it? Boom.
Not bad.
A little dry. What does everyone think about this new fashion trend of all wearing XL t-shirts with dog chains? Ex Zuckerberg. I would not get my fashion advice from Zuckerberg. I don't like it. I like form-fitting clothes. I don't like shirts that fit your body well. So XL shirts seems kind of gay.
Whoa. Okay. As a man that wears some XL shirts now and again, I don't mind it. I find it really comfortable, and it's the fashion trend right now. So I think for most guys, you can't lose by wearing like a nice form-fitting shirt, right? Like you just can't lose by doing that. But it is the trend of the moment. So yeah, I don't think I'm gay. Right.
Does Austen think it's bad for guys to follow a lot of girls? He doesn't follow any girls. I follow a shitload of girls, and they're all basically the same girl. It's like a huge city Latina with a huge ass. and I love scrolling through my feed when I'm super bored. And then sometimes I show it to my girlfriend. I'll be like, look at the tits on this one. And she'll be like, babe, they're fake. I'm like, I know. And it's awesome. But that's just
oversized. Well, this question is addressed to me, so I'll answer it. Following lots of girls, I think it's great if they're girls that are in your social network and there's people that you can invite out to parties and events and boating and this type of thing. If you're following like fucking Instagram thought, OnlyFans, faggot, like devil worshipping pieces of shit, then it creates a bad image for yourself. It makes you look like some beta guy who can't get any pussy. And also for yourself, I think psychologically what it does to you, if you're seeing women all the time on your feed that you are not in any way, shape, or form pursuing, it tells your brain that you don't deserve those women. They're outside of your reality. What I like to have is they're girls that I see and I go, okay, this is a girl that I should be following up with. So it's like a reminder to message her, to interact with her, to set something up, to invite her to an event, etc.
It doesn't do that for me. When I see those like big titty fake Latinas, I just think like, oh, this would be a cool girl to have a threesome with. That's like my natural instinct.
But are you doing anything about it? You also already have a girlfriend. Most of these guys asking these questions, they're just fucking sitting there jerking their willy to like some weird torture porn, and they need to like get off their ass and like message girls.
Yeah, torture porn I think is okay in moderation, but like it has to be like animal torture porn.
What about animal midget torture porn with tentacles?
I mean, dude, that's like fucking dude. That's my Friday night.
I filmed a podcast with my buddy's recovery coach. It's actually quite good.
Yeah, I think didn't we have him on already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone having boot camps in Ohio this spring? I guess more question for you, Austin. And
I don't understand these people. Like, just fly. It costs $50 to $100 to fly to where I'm at Tampa, or where Mike's at in Vegas. Like,
I'll be in New York.
Flying is a thing. You can get on there's this transportation that has been around for over 100 years now. You can enter this metal tube. You take a fucking runny shit and you watch a movie, and then you're in a new city.
Well, lately the planes have been falling out of the sky in America, so I don't know. But it's still you're going to be okay. Marcus,
there's no more DEI. It's all good. We're good now.
Marcus, are you going to come down to Miami?
We'll see, man. We'll see. Right now, I've got, I think, 3 weeks planned in New York. So right now, probably not. But if I do, I'll let you know, obviously.
Yeah, you should. All right, thanks for answering my question. I'm a musician. I go to karaoke, practice singing. Do you have any examples of things to practice there to make it more fun for everybody? I'm not sure. You guys.
How are you a musician? Go to karaoke. I didn't understand the question.
A good song that girls like and get good at the words. And I've seen guys like Win do that shit. I've seen guys do really well with that. So it's just not my thing. It's just you're kind of like the salsa dancer guy who's just like making up for the fact that you're bad with women by getting really good at salsa dancing. You're kind of doing the same thing.
Yep.
Okay, we have a testimonial.
I will say one thing about the singing, and it actually applies to all areas of the game. If you're unstifled, if you're able to speak loud, like, and just be in the moment and just express yourself, that's the best course of action. It's not the person who's like the most perfect singer. It's the person who can let loose and like, have a good time. Same thing with dancing, singing a little bit different. Cause if you really suck, if you're off pitch, then it's bad, but same principles apply.
Well, I think it's okay in karaoke, right? It's kind of expected. If you're just like fucking up big time, having fun with it, I think you're safe there. Unless you go into like some professional singing audition.
So if you're doing karaoke, you have to be drinking because otherwise it's just, all right. Michael Sartain, I've been posting hardcore pre-selection content on my close friends, and not only have 0 hot girls not unfollow me, some of them even like the stories. Okay.
Yeah, one thing when you start doing this, guys, mid women will start unfollowing you. Like mid or unattractive women. Really hot girls will watch your story every day because they're addicted to seeing other hot girls. It's really hard, especially guys who are lawyers, doctors, accountants. I have a fund manager who just joined my program today. I have an announcer for an NBA team, 2 F-18 pilots, and a professor at Harvard. Those guys have a hard time with this because they believe that women seeing you with other women is going to cause those women to not be attracted. No, seeing you with attractive women, and again, putting it on the close friends list so it doesn't affect your public persona, is only going to make hot women follow you and mid women unfollow you.
Why? What is the psychology? Break it down.
Because they don't feel like they get angry. So like mid women will see this, and you'll the messages they'll get like
because they can't compete. Is that why?
Of course they can't compete, but they just like the fucking weirdo Spurg leaves messages during a panel show saying these girls are all 2s and 1s when he knows he could never have sex with any of one of them. He's just basically trying to protect himself from rejection. These mid women are protecting themselves from rejection because they can't compete with the bikini models and the FHM models and the Max.
But for other beautiful women, they feel safe when they see that.
Well, it's not only that.
What if you're posting stories of mid women then? Would that?
It's better than nothing. But no, the other thing is really attractive women are more susceptible to looking at images of really attractive women because they're judged more on their physical. They understand that their physical attractiveness leverages more opportunities in their life. So if other attractive women are doing X, then they want to do X. They want to have the same handbag, be at Coachella, be at Burning. This is the reason why you see this sort of groupthink mentality. Women,
yeah, but why are women more susceptible to groupthink? Because it is definitely true.
Yeah, there's it's in the David Buss's Evolutionary Psychology textbook. It goes over the fact that women do tend to follow groupthink. The evolutionary adaptation for it, I mean, just men are generally more in a leadership role throughout the Pleistocene. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we could come up with some.
I think in like a year or so,
more willing to fight, higher testosterone, more willing to fight for their ideas, stick outside the norm. And I think men are rewarded also for sticking outside the norm.
It may just be a function of testosterone that you want. You have a more individualistic belief.
Higher oxytocin levels linked to bonding and trust.
Well, there could
lower
be that,
testosterone
but also
levels, less dominance,
estrogen levels, and testosterone levels, but also maybe raising children during a Pleistocene period would be more of a communal thing to do, meaning it's a group of mothers and grandmothers and aunts and older sisters helping raise the children together. And that communal necessity is the reason why women tend to be more of followers. And again, tend to be. Obviously, I had 2 squadron commanders who were female. Women tend to be more followers in comparison to men on average. I'm not saying all the time. Don't get pissed at me. But like in general, men. Okay, there you go. In general, men lead more than women, and part of it has to do with the assertiveness and the aggressiveness and the dominant behavior that comes from having 17 times as much testosterone as the average woman.
Yes.
I think there's another couple of things at play here for guys like posting on the close friend story using pre-selection to keep in mind is one, like, what is your perception before the story and after the story? Like, if you've met a girl, if you're a doctor, you're at work or some shit, or you've met a girl out and you've acted like a super nice guy, or not even a super nice guy, but someone that doesn't have a lot of girls or is, more looking for like one girl as opposed to many. And then you post up a story with a bunch of girls and you're talking about like, I don't know, like tying up or some shit. Then yeah, of course, like the perception is completely going to change. She's going to feel like a mismatch there. She might unfollow and not want to see you again. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. And also in terms of attainability. So if there's a girl that you've kind of met and you showed a lot of value, now you've got a lot of pre-selection, this girl might just think, hey, like, obviously, I'm not the type of girl he's going to go for. If he's going to sleep with me, it's just going to be just for sex and nothing else. And there could be an attainability problem there too. So it's just important to keep in mind what type of story and who you're adding onto that.
Such a great point Marcus had. That's why they get removed from the close friends list. If you look at all the girls that it suggests putting on my close friends list, these are all women I've gone on dates with in the last 2 years. All of it. That those girls don't need to be on my close friends list. I don't need to build any more attraction with them. They've already had sex with me. I don't need to do that anymore. So they come off the close friends list. The close friends list is either for girls who are super comfortable with like me sleeping with other women, maybe they're bisexual, or women I'm trying to generate attraction with. That's the only thing I use the close friends list for.
So you almost use it like a CRM too, because that reminds you of those girls to follow up with as well. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yes, but the CRM I use is actually my notepad. I just copy all their IG handles down, and I put them by city.
Mm-hmm. In like a year or so, I think people are going to be AI deep faking their social proof photos. I had a guy reach out to me a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Yo, I developed this AI program where I can make extremely realistic looking AI images." And I was like, "Yeah, I've seen them in the past, and they always look a little fake." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I don't believe it." He's like, "Here, I'll just do yours." So he did. And I showed them to my girlfriend, and she was like, "Wait, these are not real?" And like, he nailed it. Like, the technology is there, like, to make it so realistic that even my own girlfriend, who knows me super well, couldn't tell that they were fake.
There's a guy in my group chat for my game transformation course. He basically removed all of his normal photos and just used AI photos, and he got like a bigger reception from it. It's ridiculous. I think it's kind of a little bit gay because you're going to meet up with the girl in real life and then she's going to be like, oh, well, tell me about your time in Africa. And then it's like, what do? You lie? You say, oh,
I don't know.
I'm using fake AI photos because I'm so insecure or I have nothing cool going on in my life. Like, obviously,
ironically, I've done that.
To bridge the gap until you have an interesting, cool life, I think it could be good. But I think the goal is really having a great life.
Yeah, I don't know, Austen. Yeah, maybe theoretically, if the guy doesn't have good game, but if you have good game, you can avoid the conversation from even getting there. Like, you would respond with,
or just brush it off.
Yeah, you would just respond with a joke, be like, yeah, I'm just like fucking dodging HIV the whole time. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, like I've done this before where I used to surf when I was younger. I don't anymore. And I was like, it'd be cool if I have a surf pic, especially I'm doing the Australian thing, going to America. I just pulled off like Google an image of a guy that like looks similar to me holding a surfboard walking out to the surf. I put that in my fucking Tinder. And yeah, like literally, unironically, after I like slept with a girl, like, and I get feedback on my Tinder, she's like, I really like this surf pic. I'm like, that's not even me. They're like, really?
The girl's like, I have a question though. How did you used to be black and then now you're white?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think like
there's like a watermark over it too. That'd be funny.
Yeah. But if you like, say you have been to Africa and you don't have any good photos, right? To give your example, you can just AI generate that shit. So you can talk about your experience, but now you just have a cool photo from that to show it. So
yeah, I think the programs that are publicly available at this point are not good enough from what I've seen, but some of that thing that the guy showed me, which is not publicly available, that shit was real as fuck. Yeah. Anyway, all right, Austen,
this question gave me a stroke reading. I think what he's asking is how to smell good without like getting endocrine disruptors. I made a whole video on this. I don't understand. Just go Austen Summers cologne. I made like the only good video.
Dealing with girls who douse their neck and body.
Oh, dealing. Okay,
well, that's what I think he's getting.
Oh, he's trying to convince the girl not to get cancer. Some shit, I don't know.
No, he's worried about himself because the girl is dousing herself, and he wants to kiss her.
He might get it.
There's this vial you can get. It's about $215, like this, and it's called testosterone. You're good.
The problem is that it's endocrine disruptors don't just fuck up your testosterone; they create a whole host of effects in your body. So it's better to
take again. If you read Estrogeneration, at the end it goes over TRT and how estrogen blockers and testosterone are going to end up being a treatment for this.
There's other things in perfume and cologne other than just like. Hold on, let me pull this up. But it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't even matter that much. Like the biggest things is like, are you like ingesting plastic all the time? Like a plastic water bottle has like 100,000 microplastic particles. You know, are like just reduce reduce the amount of plastic you're consuming. Get sunlight, lift weights, eat nutrient dense foods that have a lot of cholesterol in them, saturated fat. You know, eat some fruit. You'll be GG.
I'm 2 for 4 on those. Michael, are you on finasteride? Is anyone on the panel on finasteride? I'm
not sure what finasteride is. Let me see if maybe it's a generic term for something else.
Finasteride is
finasteride saved my hairline. Like I used to have a really bad hairline, and I used to be bald, and it brought it all back.
Oh, this is a hair thing. Oh yeah, I get asked about this all the time. So no, my father had all his hair at 64. My grandfather up into his 60s had all his hair.
How are you qualified to coach men, Michael, when you have perfect hair genetics?
Yeah, that's not fair.
Perfect. It's kind of kinky. I don't know. I wish it was straighter, but like honestly, it's
this guy wishes all his hair was straighter. Damn. I used to be on it, but then my penis stopped working, so I stopped taking it. But
that's what I've heard. Is that it really affects your testosterone
for some people. For some people, it doesn't. It's a crapshoot. I've never tried it for that reason.
I have a lot of friends who've done the hair transplant thing, and that's worked really well for them.
The problem with the hair transplant thing is, in the long term, you'll need something to stop the hair loss. Otherwise, you just end up with like a plug look. Like you've just got literally where you got the transplant, everything else is gone. So yeah, things like finasteride, or I used to take injections of another DHT blocker into my scalp, but I just didn't find it that effective. It was super expensive, but we'll see. Alex has got me on some new stuff, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's natural things you can take. They're not quite as effective, but they're not bad. saw palmetto and dim sum. 2 different supplements. Those also have a similar mechanism as finasteride, but they don't have any of the side effects.
There's some really good YouTube channels about getting your hair back. I would just follow those. I don't think any of us are super experts on it, but also if you lose your hair completely, you can still get laid. My mentor was bald, and he's like the best at the time at day game, and it's like he was getting laid like crazy, and he had no hair, and he looked like an ogre. So, like worst case scenario, you're still gonna be able to reproduce. Don't worry. You'll still be able to pass those genes on.
So this is the guy who the girl thought he was a virgin. He said she thought I was a virgin because I didn't make a move for a while. We knew each other for a few months. When I tried to smash, she goes, "I underestimated you." Okay. Well, yeah, it's probably good. She was not making the move for a while, right?
Yeah. Why are you taking weeks to fucking make a move? But that's good. That's really good feedback. That's something you can fix, right? Just make a move quicker.
It says, what's Austin's leg count? So girls or guys, to be specific?
No, you can count both.
In that case, it's quadruple digits. But when
in that case, guys are easy as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps asking. It was Vadim, my mentor. Vadim from Honest Signals.
Will Austin Summer show us a pic of his girlfriend?
She's going to be in my next video, reviewing guys' Instagrams.
Is the Aussie accent a big halo for Marcus when he goes to America?
I can answer this. Yes, it is. As somebody, every single guy in Thunder from Down Under, shout out to you guys because they watch all my stuff. Every single one of them follows my podcast, and I go out and I hang out with these dudes, and they fucking crush it. They're like an offensive line of just like taking, like I don't even get to see the women. They just follow the fucking Aussie. They're all ripped Aussie dudes who fucking they dance in Thunder from Down Under. They're all fucking super ripped. And they're just like, they talk to the girls, these Aussie accents. And these women are like lawyers, doctors. These are like really like a bunch of them are super wholesome women. Yeah, absolutely. I can answer that one for you, dude. They crush it here. I was thinking about making up an Australian accent.
No, straight up. Like the biggest key I've found is when I talk to girls, I'll just find an excuse to say I'm Australian. Like my opener is I'll literally walk up and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm Australian." Like it makes no sense, but oh, you're Australian. Like literally, like if I just. But the only problem is Americans are so fucking stupid. You guys never travel anywhere that literally 50% of the time they'll be like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Australian." Like, yeah, they'll British, they'll show you something else. Something of American putting on an accent. Literally in Tampa, it was like 90% of girls just thought I was putting an accent on. So it is great, huge halo effect. Sometimes you have to deal with some retarded women, but otherwise, yes, huge advantage.
Dude, that's very relevant to my life because one of my assistants right now is an Australian living in Tampa. So,
yeah, I'm sure
it is a big plus.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Austin recently mentioned fucking girls in high-end bathrooms when the house isn't available. Can you elaborate how you deal with LMR on this?
What makes a high-end bathroom is what I want to know first.
Certainly, most girls are on shoot. That's what you think. You're placing your mindset on this. You think girls who aren't huge sluts wouldn't be down, dude. I've had this one girl who was a fucking virgin. I was just seeing her. We went out one night and there was like this sailboat in Toronto, and we just like went to the waterfront and we fucked on a sailboat that wasn't even ours. Like, girls are down for the story. They're adventurous, etc. And high-end bathrooms, like, yeah, I would just go to like a good hotel and just walk into the lobby and go to the bathrooms. It's like marble, floor to ceiling blockage, beautiful. It's just kind of fun. And if the vibe's down, she's down. It's GG. You shouldn't be getting LMR when you escalate the sex anyway. Like that just means you're going too soon or you're fucking things up. All right, dude. I sent a
real quick unisex bathrooms. Hold on, real quick. Unisex bathrooms, upstairs bathrooms at like parties, like mansion parties, all the time. Also, the laundry room is another great place. Often it'll be girls who would not go on a date, want to go on a traditional date and do anything, but they're down for the hookup. Like at Area 15, that really cool thing that we have in Vegas, that little art installation. There's like some unisex bathrooms in the back. All those places. Those are places are all great, and often you'll see that that you're willing to take that chance. Girls find it attractive.
Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta go. Always good talking, chatting with the boys. I'm gonna head out.
We'll see you next week.
Got you, bro. Take care. Yeah, I think adding in anytime I go for like public sex, I try to build up the idea that there's a choice behind this. I think a lot of guys run into the problem where they're like, I don't have a place. I'm staying with my parents or some shit, or I'm out of town, and like, oh fuck, like how do I go for this bathroom thing? And it feels really awkward. Pretend you do have a place and the bathroom or the wherever else you want to go, you're doing it because it's incredibly exciting and fun. And if you build the idea around that, like we might get caught, girls love the idea of voyeurism, there's like public sex is really exciting for a lot of girls. Build that up. You can even tell a story about public sex and then go for it. If it just feels like, fuck, I got nowhere to go, I guess we'll just do the toilets, there's nothing sexy or exciting about that. So make sure you build up the idea first.
Austen, okay, wait, we did that question. 34, recently divorced after a 7-year relationship. What's your advice for men coming back into the dating market looking for high-value women? A lot has changed over the last 10 years. Probably not as much as you think has changed. Instagram, social media is more important. Dating apps are a bit more popular. But 10 years, you were in the market in 2014. Social media was already a thing. Dating apps were already a thing. So it's not really any different than the advice I would give to anyone else. I mean, you're probably going to have to go through a period of quote unquote pain where you familiarize yourself with, just talking to girls and developing your social skills. But if you were pretty decent when it comes to your social skills prior to that, you'll probably within the span of a few weeks or maybe a month, you'll kind of pick up 99% where you left off. But yeah, it's like I don't think nearly as much change as you think it might have changed. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the biggest variable here, obviously things have changed a little bit. Like the biggest variable here when it comes to like coming back in this is what are your goals? Like what are your strengths? What are the ways you want to meet women? That is going to matter way more than what has changed. The biggest thing that has changed is you've just been out of the game for so long. You need to look at this again, like beginner mindset. You're just coming at it. So if you want to work on like online dating, then it's going to be a matter of just like setting up a bunch of good photos. If you want to do the social circle thing, then you got to sort that out. If you want to go cold approach, things that might have changed, maybe the clubs you're going out to, that is basically it really. So I think I agree with Alex here. The biggest thing is basically just coming with this beginner mindset, seeing what your strengths are and working around those, as opposed to worrying too much about things that have changed.
Yeah, I'll share this story that I have a few times. When I was really sick with Lyme in like 2018, I went like almost a year without talking to anyone who wasn't a doctor or my direct family member. Zero social interaction. And when I was like starting to recover, I remember thinking like, fuck, I'm gonna have to like relearn game. Like this is gonna fuck. Like I'm just gonna have to relearn like everything I learned. It was about a week before I was like 99% to where I was of continuously going out. So you can relearn things pretty fast.
So about a third, I have about 3,000 clients. About a third of them are exactly recently divorced, relationship, wasn't really a part of the whole social media wave. I just try to think of it like a software update. I'm here to give you the software update. If you guys want to go to school.com and then just look up MOA Forum, we have a free program in there called High Status Networking 101. And it goes over specifically a guy who has been, and I even talk about this in the intro video, a guy who has no interaction with social media whatsoever. How do I do that to show relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, access to scarce locations, access to scarce networks, pre-selection, and social status, along with charisma and humor? We show you those are the things I think you need to show on social media, because it's not the only thing. It's not just that it's an important thing. It's that it's the most scalable part. It's the most scalable thing you can do today, so that you can meet a large number of women, and of those women, then you pick for the good ones. The idea that you're going to do a thing just for the good girls, that's been disproven. That's not how it works. The attraction cues for women are ubiquitous. So what you do is you attract a lot of girls, and then you pick the ones that you think are the best for you.
Michael Sartain, when sending invites to open threads, should I follow the girls if they respond positively, or should I never follow them?
It's again, this is nuanced. If they're part of my circle, I've met them, I've shook their hand, then I'll follow them. But most of the time I won't follow them. Yeah. And if they're following me and I can put them on the close friends list, I don't think I have to follow them. I can't remember if I follow them and then unfollow them. I forgot. I have to go back and look that up. But there's a bunch of other stuff you can do. But I don't follow girls just because I'm friends with them. In fact, I'm probably this next year going to unfollow every single girl on my friends list.
I think pretty much everyone on this panel is a big fan of TRT. Yeah, definitely good.
I rarely get any negative. I have a few friends that are like, hey, I had to get off it for one reason or another, but very rarely do I have people say they regret. I can't even.
I've never even heard that. I've never heard about anyone
regret getting on TRT. I've been on it for 5 years. I'll tell you, it's night and day difference. But I'm also on peptides. I've been trying out IGF-1, ipamorelin, tesamorelin, BPC 157, and TB 500. I've been doing all those as well, those peptides, and they've also helped really just my skin, body fat, everything. And you know, the girls that I date, they remark on how different I look in comparison to 5 years ago.
Yeah, I've done all of those actually, every single one of the ones you mentioned.
And this we're talking about like replacement therapy. Like if guys are just like 20 years old and they're jumping on like a huge dose of testosterone, there's probably like a lot of side effects there. But if you're just replacing testosterone, then I think it's super healthy and you should do it.
I wouldn't even consider this until 33, unless you're like below 200 nanograms per deciliter. I wouldn't even.
I would just go off your blood work. I would just do blood work and then go from there.
Yeah,
I think
100%. Yeah.
Thoughts on double texting girl you hooked up with a couple times who ghosted? I mean, it can't hurt. You can try. There's no harm in it, I guess.
So again, I have specific techniques that I have for this. So the first thing is I'm going to put her on the close friends list. If I get ghosted, the same night I get ghosted, I'm going to post me either with another girl out on a date, or I'm going to post me in a super high status location. And that's not just for her. That's for other girls as well. If I do message her back, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be a message I send on IG that if she doesn't respond to later, I'm going to unsend, or I'm going to send a voice memo via iChat, because what happens is she either keeps the voice memo and it gives you a notification, or she does not keep the voice memo, in which case it disappears and it doesn't look like you double texted. That's what I would do in those situations. But I would also, if I do message her, I'm going to put her at the back of the list, and then I'm just going to invite her to mass events. Once a girl ghosts me, she gets invited to mass events, and then that usually sparks it back up, because then she wants to come to whatever the party is, and then all of a sudden she acts like she never ghosted. She wants to go out with me again. It just rekindles like that.
Yeah, I think it's important to try have an understanding, try reflect a little bit on why she's ghosting. It's important, like the double text isn't as bad. Like if you just send a double text, because look, some girls might just like not see the message, not reply, kind of forget about it, especially if this is casual, hooked up a couple of times or whatever. But if she's just like not replying and has like properly ghosted you, then you need to reflect a little bit, because this is going to affect your other interactions, like what actually caused this to happen and what's going on. But I agree with Michael here. Like there's other ways now we can look to build attraction back up. And yeah, if you can get some views on your story, if you're in a somewhat social circle and you can do it that way, 100%. But otherwise, like I'm always about the feedback here. Like I would actually prefer to send her a message and get feedback, and know if you're early on in your journey and you don't know what the fuck is going on here, because it might just be that your sex game is really bad. It might be what we were speaking about before, that you're sending the wrong like mixed signals. So yeah, getting the feedback might be more valuable.
Yeah, sometimes though it's nothing you did; it's out of your control. That actually happens a lot. This is where I like takeaways. So if I say to a girl, I have a whole video on like which takeaway to use for which situation. But let's say I say, hey, we should get together sometime soon, and the girl does not respond. I might say something like, I don't know. I might say something like, or not, or a woman, a few words I see, or are you always this talkative, right? Those are some takeaways you can use in that situation. But the point is that like, I think those are pretty good at getting to the bottom of what happened. They don't always work, but they do help.
Yeah, the anti-frame is nice. Like if you're too shy, you're too nervous, hey, if you can't handle this, anti-frames, takeaways, things that will encourage her to actually like give it a reason, an objection, a concern, I think is going to be super helpful.
Yeah. I wish I could post my huge question in one go. Unfortunately, there's no super chat. Alex, could you set that up? Oh God, this is painful. So I've been demonetized from YouTube. The YouTube partner program no longer wants anything to do with me. So they take away my ability to have super chat. So it is what it is. Fucking sucks, but yeah.
Is there any way to get that back? Like, I don't even know YouTube's deal. Like, can you?
You have to like go through. You probably have to hire someone from YouTube, have them go through your account, tell you everything that you need to take down. Anything that has even like everything has to have a green dollar sign on it. Anything that's yellow or red, you just remove it from the channel, and then you reapply for monetization 6 months later. That's what I would do.
So yeah, I got a lawyer, so they're gonna contact YouTube. Maybe that will help. Maybe it won't. After 90 days, you can reapply. I might do that. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, good luck, man.
Thanks. Okay. Let's do a few more questions. I live in Tasmania. I live in a population of 500,000. My resistance to taking actions in part due to limiting beliefs about the small population. Is there a strategy to progress in this environment? What do you guys think?
Yeah. My advice here is always move. It might not be doable, but like if you're in small towns, like it depends where you are in Tasmania, by the way. But if you're in a small town in fucking Tasmania, then yeah, like dude, just fucking move somewhere else where you have an ability to practice and meet more women. It's as simple as that. Now, if you are stuck in a small town, then you just got to make the most of it, right? Like you need to ask yourself, what is the actual limiting belief here? What people are going to find out that you want to speak to women and that you're attracted to them? Like, who gives a fuck, right? Now, you might want to be careful in like smaller environments so you're not doing too much ridiculous shit that is going to give a really bad reputation. But if you're just going up speaking to girls, if you're trying to like set up events, if you're online dating, like this is all acceptable no matter where the fuck you are. This is usually just a hyper blown concern that you have. So yeah, move. If not, then go for it anyway. You're going to be fine.
500,000 is more than enough, bro. I live in a city with 600,000 people right now, and there's tons of beautiful women. There's tons of interactions. 500,000 is more than enough.
Tasmania's a huge place. He's probably going to be in an area in Tasmania. Like Tasmania's a state.
I see what you're saying. So, yeah, got it. No, I know it's an island, right? Or it's an
island that's a state within
Australia, right? Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, man. I still think 500,000 people. I still think that's enough for you to be able to have a social circle out there.
Hello, Alex. I want to thank you with a super chat. You turned my dating life around in $20. I banged 2 7s from Tinder. All thanks to you.
Why are you doing this?
Happy.
Why? Thank you for pleasing those 7s, bro. Thank you. Those 7s appreciate it. Wow.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with the 7, man.
There's actually a super chat here for $2,000, Alex. They just oh man, rip.
So messed. You guys are mean.
Does Michael? No, I think the guy was being genuine too. Does Michael posting men's self-help or conservative advice ever hurt him with female friends, women, or does he just filter out for just Republican women?
No, it doesn't hurt at all because so for conservative women, they love the fact I'm conservative. For liberal women, they still look for like masculine traits. And as long as when I have a discussion, so my friend Bree Hunter will come on. I have another friend named Kaylin who comes on, and they're both like liberals. They came on during like some of the political stuff we did. And they actually really respect the fact that I can have respectful conversations with them and I'm educated in what I talk about. I've never had this be an issue. The only issue I have is when I'm actually having sex with a girl and she sees all the male self-improvement stuff, which includes pre-selection photos. That's the only time I have an issue, but it's only once I'm already sleeping with her. Girls I'm not sleeping with don't see unless they're mid. The attractive women I'm not sleeping with do not have any problem with any of the self-help stuff for 2 reasons. Number one, because they just don't care enough. And number 2, women do not in general believe that male self-help is even a thing. They don't think it's real. Like the idea that I can help a guy manufacture attraction in women who aren't attracted to him. Women, it's not that they deny it. They don't even believe that that's a thing. It's like the idea of you going up to a fat girl and the fat girl whispering something in your ear, making her want to have sex with you. Like, you as a man, you don't feel like that's possible. Women feel the same way, but yet we as men consistently see men who are unattractive to women have sex with those women. Shout out to Wheat Waffles. Sorry about that, brother. Sorry that's inconvenient for you. But like we consistently see that over and over again because women are not privy to that. Women wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. It's what I do is not. It's not what I'm saying. It's not offensive. It doesn't even seem like it's real. It's like a woman teaching astrology is what women think when they see me teaching male self-help.
I'd also be careful for guys out there. I'd be careful about posting too many things that are polarizing in terms of like politics, because it might like offend some women, or it might, and maybe that's fine. Maybe you're like, yo, I don't want to date like this type of girl or like meet this type of girl. I think that's fine. But yeah, I'd stick to things that we're going to build attraction. There are ways you can post political content that can, I guess, hit attraction triggers, but like you're better off just avoiding it if that's your only goal. If your only goal is like get girls on your Instagram, then yeah, I just stay away from politics.
I will say this though, I'm definitely on the left, and I fucked some diehard Trump supporting girls, like absolutely. And honestly, just teasing is usually what does the trick, or me doing the Trump voice. Okay, I know you're my biggest fan, but tonight we're gonna pretend like you don't actually hate your country, like just fucking around with them, not taking it seriously. As long as you avoid getting into logical political debate, then you're good.
Yeah,
so I never even worried about that. Okay, let's do 2 more questions. How do you deal with being posted multiple times in the Facebook group, or like, are we dating the same guy, and being slander, attack, defamation? It's like a badge of honor. Every guy who's good with girls.
No shit. I would be hooking up with so many girls. I'd be screenshotting that shit and posting it on my story every day. If I was on, I'm on there one time, but if I was on a bunch of them, I would constantly be doing that.
You don't think you're on there? I think every guy's on there.
No, I'm on there once. Like I found, I may be on there more, but the girl showed it to me. She said that you're on here, and I'm like, I'm not dating anyone. Who the fuck is writing this? Yeah, and it was just like, hey, what do you guys know about Michael Sartain? I think he's attractive. She wasn't saying she was dating me. She just posted it in that same thing. Are we dating the same girl, by the way? I went in there. What a bunch of losers. Those guys are the biggest losers I've ever seen in my life. I posted this fucking super hot girl I just started dating, and they're like, you're paying for her. That's a prostitute, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did it? No, she's not a prostitute. He's like, you're definitely not. They go, right after I'd had sex with her, they go, you're definitely not fucking her. Like, that's what I was like, bro, you guys are weirdos, man. The guys in that group are terrible. I was like, hey, man, could you help a brother out? No, they didn't want to help me out at all.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a really positive or negative thing. Like, I know for Alex, my business partner, it's a super positive thing for him, because girls will be like, oh, does anyone know this guy, blah, blah, and he got a bunch of positive feedback. Yeah, I went on a few dates, or I did this, my friend slept with him, and it was actually positive there. And then some famous girl in Poland wrote about like how she had like the best sexual experience or something on TikTok, and that got like mini viral within the city. So things like this are really positive, like pre-selection. But I know for some of you, right, it might be like, I went on a date with this guy, I didn't like it, or I went on a date with this guy, like blah, blah, and it might be something negative. There it's not as great, but just keep in mind, like, look, this is going to blow. Like, everyone gets posted in there every single day. Yeah. At the moment, it might feel like a catastrophe. Like, holy fuck, everyone's going to find out about this. If you just wait 2 weeks, like, no one gives a fuck. You'll be sweet. But yeah, like, take that as a little bit of feedback too. Like, if there's a bunch of girls saying like one thing about you, then maybe that's something you should look to correct. Like,
I don't know. There's a lot of bitter, resentful women in there that just talk shit.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, like maybe.
I would love it so much, bro. I would pay. I think I'm going to pay a girl to put me in there. Are you kidding me? I would screenshot that shit and post it every day. I was like, why do y'all keep putting me in here? I would not care at all. Guys, women knowing that you bang other women is always good. Please stop believing anything else. It's just true. And if you don't believe me, just come. I'll give you some testimonials, bro. Seriously.
Sometimes the girls are sneaky though. Like, if they fuck you, they won't say like, oh, we hooked up.
Exactly.
Like, this guy was just a creep, but they make it seem like there's no sex involved.
Yeah. So you got to be like, sometimes it will be really positive. Like, they'll just say like, yeah, I went on a date, my friend slept with him, like, he's really cool. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, like, it's amazing. But yeah, sometimes you won't get girls being like, oh yeah, I am dating the same guy I slept with him. It's more just them sussing out if you're going to be cool to go on a date with. And then you get a bunch of girls, depending on the person, that might be like, yeah, creepy, he was weird, like blah, blah. There's a lot of that posted in there. So it can be good, it can be bad. If it's bad, don't worry. It won't last.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. All right, let's do one last question. When approaching talking to super attractive women, do you guys frame that as just as normal as the average woman? Do you instantly bring a level of game? Yeah, I don't treat hot girls any differently than I do like average girls, but that's just my
approaching women. Do you guys?
Yeah, I do treat them differently, but not from the point of view that I treat them differently. Like, one girl, oh, she's amazing, I can't wait to go on a date with her, I'm going to put her on a pedestal, I think she's incredible. It's more just, I ask myself the question, how do I think she's going to respond to what I say to her? And if she's more attractive and gets more attention, that response is going to be a little bit different. And so I'll tailor my approach towards that. That's what I mean by different.
I immediately imagine she has chlamydia. Immediately, so especially when she's super hot, and then I just like, okay, just take it out of my mind that I'm trying to get with this girl. I have normal, regular conversations with her. Do not look at her tits or ass under any circumstance whatsoever. High five her, bro hug, whatever, and then I just try to get compliance if she's super hot. And then the compliance loops eventually lead to my car, the restaurant, my apartment, the balcony, etc. That's generally the way I would do it. But initially, like, I'm always going to like, I desexualize it in my mind initially, because again, it's the banker's dilemma. Women give vagina to the men who need it the least. They don't give vagina to the men who need it the most. When you meet her and you act different, your voice cracks, your palms get sweaty, your pupils dilate, and you start getting all fidgety, that is a sign to her that sex with you is something that would be life-changing for you. She's the best you've ever done. I never want a woman to feel like she's the best I could ever do whenever I'm talking to her. In fact, I want her to be confused. I want her to see, like, dude, would this guy even have sex with me if I wanted to? And then I want her to compete for my attention.
Yeah. All right, guys. Anyway, we covered a lot of good shit. Appreciate you guys all for being here. We're going to be back next week. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Alex.
Take it easy.